Hey guys, welcome to Roleplay Love. This is Sherry. Today I'm going to be talking about how and why I went vegan. So it all started when I was eating a standard American diet consisting of everything and anything. And I looked at myself in the mirror one day and was really unhappy with the way I was looking. So I decided to start gymming. And I was exercising pretty regularly. And with gymming came dieting. So I started dieting and I was restricting my calories, I was depriving my body of carbohydrates, and I was eating a very high protein, high fat diet, mainly of animal protein, some green vegetables, and nuts and seeds. And I continually did this for about 6 months, and then I started integrating cheat days. And it's basically where you give yourself a rest from dieting and eat whatever you want. And I would incorporate those once a week. So I was restricting calories during the week, restricting my carb intake, and on a Saturday I would go completely AWOL and I would eat everything and anything I could get my hands on, only to start dieting again on a Monday. And I did this for some time. And one day I kind of found myself binging or doing, one of these cheat days unplanned during the week. It just sprung up on me. I was just so hungry and it was like I hadn't eaten in days. And I would just go completely crazy, carb crazy, and just eat lots of like heavy carbs like breads and, make myself like toasted sandwiches, eat pizzas, eat lots of crisps and popcorn and chips and stuff like that. And I felt guilty for binging. I felt embarrassed, and that's when the purging started to happen. So I was on a binge purge cycle. I would restrict my calories and my carb intake for a few days, and until my body couldn't handle it anymore, I would go completely ravenous and just consume thousands upon thousands of calories in one sitting, eating foods that were nutritiously void. It was just junk. It was the densest form of calories I could find, and so it was very satiating. But it always left me feeling empty, always left me feeling really embarrassed, and then I'd purge. This continued for a year. It was an awful time. I developed depression. I suffered from mental fogginess. I couldn't make decisions. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't focus. And going to the gym was tough. I was always on caffeine pills or some sort of like workout shake or booster or something. And I got really desperate. I couldn't afford a psychologist or psychiatrist to help me overcome my eating disorder, and so I had to do it myself. And what happened was I was researching, and I landed on Freely the Banana Girl's Facebook page and blog, and it had something about her overcoming her eating disorder, moving to a raw vegan diet. And so this was really intriguing, and I did more research into it, and I looked at her and was just amazed at how lean she was, eating all this fruit, all this sugar, all these carbs. The next morning, started integrating fruits into my breakfast. I left my eggs out of the breakfast, just had oatmeal and fruits. For lunch, I was, just eating like salad vegetables on my corn thins, like rice cakes but made out of corn. And I'd have some pieces of fruit. So, I started emptying my fridge and my freezer of any animal products, of any frozen chickens and ready-made meals, milk, yogurt. Started emptying my fridge of that, getting rid of anything that had any animal product in. And I started shopping for just fruits and vegetables. And it was amazing. My cart was just so colorful and it looked amazing. It was just vitality, as opposed to just this cart of death and carcasses, And so I was so excited to be eating in abundance and eating all this fruit. And so the first week, I actually started to feel a hell of a lot better. The fogginess started to disappear and my skin was clearing up. By the first month, I was on cloud number 9. I was out of my depression funk. I was not craving anything, so I didn't end up binging on anything. And I just felt free. I felt free of my eating disorder. And it was the most amazing feeling ever. Because I used to diet, and I used to, stay away from bad refined foods like ice creams and chocolates. But I used to look at them and think, oh my god, I so desperately want one of those, but I can't, just leave it. Now, I don't even want that stuff. It's not even appealing to me. It's not something I'm like, oh, I really want one of those, but I should stick to my raw food lifestyle. It's not that at all. It is a complete, taste bud rejuvenation of just eating pure foods. I don't crave any of that junk or any of that refined stuff. And another tip that I think would help me was I stuck to raw foods. I stuck to whole foods. I stayed away from the vegan processed stuff. And I'm not saying that stuff is bad. It's great for transitions. I totally support people and encourage people to eat transition foods like mock meats and processed meals and stuff. I couldn't consume those things in order to get over my eating disorder. I had to learn to eat naturally, eat the way nature intended, and stay away from foods that were addictive. And those foods are addictive. And I didn't need any more triggers, anything making me want to eat more of something like, salt and sugars, added sugars, refined sugars, make you want to eat more of what you're eating. So I had to stay away from those and eat whole foods and raw foods, and that really, really, really helped. After a few months, I started integrating cooked meals, potatoes and the pastas, but I stuck to very minimally processed stuff. I started reading 80-10-10 by Douglas Graham, and I was just so motivated to get onto this vegan, bandwagon because of all the testimonials of all these people who had eating disorders, who had other diseases, and they all overcame their problems by moving to a raw vegan diet. People with anorexia, people with binge and purge, skin, problems, diseases, migraines, brain tumors, cancer, diabetes. People were overcoming these huge diseases. And so I was motivated and I stuck to it. And every day I just started integrating more fruits, fresh fruits, more vegetables, cooking up stir fries at night, and reading the 80-10-10. I started educating myself about nutrition, and I watched Gary Yourofsky's best speech ever made. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'll post the link below so you guys can watch it. That video opened my eyes, it stole my heart. It was the real deal and was the reason I stuck to being vegan. I made myself watch undercover videos of factory farms. So I completely understood what was happening on those farms and understood how the animals were being treated. These were the foods I was purchasing at one point. Sometimes to open your hearts to the truth, you have to endure uncomfortable situations. And it was uncomfortable. I cried for weeks on end. I was deeply disturbed, but completely enlightened. And if it wasn't for those videos, and if it wasn't for Gary Yourofsky, and reading the China study, and seeing Freely's page, then I wouldn't have gone vegan.